Phil.
Hi. We talk about health and wellness today.
Yeah.
Should I get some before and after pictures of me?
Just need to go look on your Instagram and there's some there.
True. I've got some other horrible ones I should put up.
Health and wellness is the topic to discuss today.
Great.
I think just for anyone that doesn't know you or seen you go on your wellness and health journey in the last few years, I would say you've always been on paper healthy. You've either done football or gone to the gym or whatever.
I've always been physically fit.
I would say 4 years ago, I would say you started taking it a bit more seriously. You got a health coach and things like that. But I think this last 12 months, you've really kicked it up 5 or 6 gears and it's really gone. I would say it's probably been your obsession this year. It's probably been the area of your life you've been quite focused on, and all of your energy and all of your focus and all your free headspace has gone to that, I would say, this year.
Yep.
So I think you're quite qualified to talk about it at this stage.
I don't know about qualified, but I definitely got experience in dealing with it.
Yeah, but I think there's been a lot of changes within you, and I think it's important to say that it is health and wellness. It's not just going to the gym. I think there's so many things in your life. I think if you were to list off everything that you do in your day to be a healthier version of yourself, we would be here till tomorrow.
Not enough hours that I'd do more. If I had, if I didn't work, I would just spend all day doing things that were geared around me being healthier.
Well, I think a starting point and where I wanted to start today is what inspired you to go on this journey, and how has the journey that you've been in evolved over time?
Honest answer?
Of course.
2 reasons. So forwards and backwards motivation. Mm-hmm. Not dying and living longer. I got to one of the boys I know when I was in Australia. What age was I? I was in my late 30s. Heart just stopped playing football and dropped dead. I started to see people when me get sick. In my late 30s, I started to hear people just a bit older than me get sick, heart problems and all this stuff, and So part of it was just not, the first part of it was just not dying, right? Like, how do I get actually healthy? Because healthy to me up until about 4 or 5 years ago was go to the gym 5 times a week and having protein shakes. And I suppose like most young guys, right, health was all about, you know, have I got a big chest? I got big arms? Can I bench 100 kg? Can I run 4 mile? Like that was it. But now health is in a much deeper physiologically. I can never say that word. Physically and mentally healthy, I think. And so I think that was it. And it's funny because people think I'm joking sometimes. They're like, why did you do all this training? I'm like, I was trying to stay alive. I'm not joking. Like the better my engine is inside, the more chance I've got not fucking dying. Like if I go, God forbid, and get an injury, a bad injury, the healthier my body is, the more chance I've got of recovering from whatever happens to me. God forbid I get one of the main killers, something wrong with my heart, cancer, or something, I catch something like that. The healthier my body is, the more chance I got of fighting that shit. So I don't know. I just look at my body like it's a bunch of soldiers. And if my soldiers ever get invaded by a disease or anybody tries to kill my soldiers, the better equipped my soldiers are, the better I'll be able to defend my position and not fucking die. Because it's kind of, that's it. I can't stop. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, right? But it doesn't mean I'm not going to control every variable that I can control in order not to do it. And I think a big reason we're not dying, I'm not going to get soppy and say even watching my kids grow up. I just think life's fucking great. And I just want to live it. On the flip side of that, and the forward motivation is they've now scientifically proven that your body's designed to do at least 130. So why would I heard someone yesterday talk about midlife crisis at 40, and I'm like, just so pre-programmed. The fact you call it a midlife, you know, I jokingly say now I'm having a third life or a quarter life crisis, a third life crisis, because I'm like, I want to live to 130, right? And do the math, it's 135, 45 years old, and I joke, I'm having this wee. I don't know. I think I've had a wee bit of, people would call it midlife, I'd say third life crisis, where most people want to go buy nice cars and nice watches, and I'm what I get a do on mine and gone in huffs, and I'm having quite a weird year trying to I know it's like I'm going through a phase with myself with this, but I did hear someone yesterday talk about midlife crisis and they were 40, and I'm like, fuck, you're admitting that you're going to die when you're 80. Why would I want to die when I'm 80? Why would I not want to live another 50 years?
Yeah.
Why not? I think life's great. And if your life's that bad that you don't mind dying at 80, then fucking fix your life.
True.
I think life should get better as you get older. Sorry. I think your life should get better when you're older because you become a wee bit wiser, don't you? And I can't help but think, if this is, not saying I am wise, but when I got to 40 and thought, if I'm this wise or I've grown this much in 20 years, how much would I grow in 80 years? But again, you got to be alive. And also, sorry, I'll get into a rant here. The idea of retiring when you're 65 and just seeing out your last... So you work till you're 65, so they make you go to school. They make you do education. So basically for your 4 years old, you're working. All right, school and nursery's learning, but it's work. You're having to be in a certain place at a certain time and you're having to do... My kids come home from school, sometimes they straight up and they're working all night. They're doing... So school's yet at 3 o'clock, but they're doing 12-hour shifts. My daughter went on holiday and she was doing stuff. So you're working for your 4 till you're 65. It's fucking 61 years. And then on average, you get 20 years to enjoy your life no working. I'm like, excuse my language, fuck that. If I'm going to do that, I want to live an equally free life on the back yet. Like if I can get another 60 years on the back. So work for 60 years, yes. If I do decide to retire in my 60s, I get another 60 or 70 years of having a good time and reaping all the rewards of the 60 odd years you've put in. Because a lot of people think you start working when you get to 18. You don't.
Yeah, but I also think there's a different, like, and when you say being alive for that, there's a difference between, like, a lot of people, older people are, once they get to retirement, they do just sit at home because they're not able to go and do things and travel, and they're not able, their bodies aren't able to do all of that. So I think it's a difference of also physically being free to do all of that.
Functional old person.
Yeah.
Being like 120, and again, as science has been proven, you can do this.
So what would you say are the biggest challenges you've faced then on this kind of journey that you've been in, and how have you overcome them?
Everyday life. Living a society of fast food and alcohol, and there's nothing wrong with fast food and nothing wrong with alcohol. Love a KFC, love a pizza, did love booze. Still love booze, but just don't drink booze anymore, right? Still love I crave after a chippy, a greasy fried fish and chips all the time. Crave after it. But you're constantly... The hardest thing's been the discipline to stick to stuff. Because you're just surrounded by things that are not freaking good for you. We work in town, people are drinking, people go to restaurants, they order chips. I just think... the society that we live in and the people, for the most part, the people you're surrounded. I think it would have been much easier if I only ever ate dinner with people who ate the same as me, and no one round me ate sweets, and no one round me still drunk alcohol, and everyone round me like cold water therapy. And of course it would be easier then, but it's hard because for me, and people laugh at me all the time, and you know that, and you've laughed at me loads of times too, because you're so against the grain. Eating organic food's so against the grain. Going up to the Campsies, which is the hills with waterfalls for anybody that's not for Glasgow, and jumping in cold water at 7 in the morning is not normal. Go to the gym when you're 6, not normal. Go to the gym at a time, like focusing on breath work, going on PMF mats, doing fucking a standing ground in my back garden at night before I go to sleep. My neighbours must think I'm a nutter. Literally put my house coat on and go fucking stand in my grass barefooted at night and stare at the stars for 10 fucking minutes to decompress all the EMPs that are in my body. And it makes a difference to my sleep, and I track it and I see it. But anybody who's listening and hears that, and any of my neighbours looking out, will think I'm a fucking nutter. Because I am a bit of a nutter, but I think that's against the grain, and I think I've got friends who are like that. And we were actually talking yesterday about this because of the brand we're going to bring out next year. We're launching Beyond Human. And we're like, even if we could just get 100,000 people to be healthier, like if we could get 100,000 people to live a healthier, happier, more fulfilling, longer life, fucking job done.
Yeah.
We're not even doing it for money. We will make money from it, but we're doing it more because when I became healthier, I've got all these, sorry, we talk about Beyond Human again, but the feeling I have, the buzz I get, the natural high I have all the time, and the energy levels, like we were joking yesterday, someone's There's a waitress this morning, was talking about me not drinking anymore. And I'm like, I'm actually more fun now than I used to be when I night out. And I was talking to James last week.
You'd be asleep somewhere on a night out. You always fell asleep.
Yeah. James says to me, James, who's a mate who I hadn't seen in 8 years, he was talking to me. And he made a comment. About me not being fun anymore and not drinking. I says, well, actually, I'm probably more fun in a club now. I'm the guy that wants to stay out now because I'm full of energy. I says, at least I don't fall asleep anymore. And he done the same thing you done. He went, oh, shit, yeah, you did fall asleep a lot. And I'm like, I'm buzzing all the time now. I'm wired. There's not a time most of the week where I couldn't go out and go to the gym and have the energy to go do it. So I know what it's done for me energy-wise and how I feel. Sometimes I get too much energy and I'm wired. Like I'll message my coach and go, I'm wired. Can I go for a 3-mile run? I've got all this energy that...
Yeah.
And that's what we focus on as the feeling. So I don't know, we want to share that with people. I don't try and convince people that they should do it. Some people are like, I want to live till 1:30, no problem. My wife says to me, actually, even Brody's not as into it as me. And she's like, but that'll be sad, everybody dying. I says, it's not my fault. They decided not to do what I'm doing. If you all want to do what I'm doing, no problem. But don't. Nah. And if I figure out a way to live to 500, you'd be sure as hell I'm doing it. Why not?
Imagine the things you'd see in the world. That'd be quite cool.
And that's what I'm excited about. It's a wee adventure. So backwards motivation is I'm trying to prevent dying as much as humanly possible. Even things like 1 in 2 people get cancer. I just don't want it to have a look into my body. And if it does have a look in, it's going to get told to fuck off pretty quickly. Like, that's big. 1 in 2, 1 in 2 people in Scotland. 1 in 2. Which means you get a 50% chance of getting that. I'm like, so anything I can do to make sure my body's in great shape so that doesn't happen to me. And people can say, oh, but it won't happen to you. But how do you know? You just don't know this stuff. Like your brain, your heart, all this kind of stuff. So I'm just doing my best to stay alive and be here in a long time so I can enjoy life.
I think one of the challenges that people assume or people go to really, really quickly, especially when you run businesses and you have a busy life and things like that, is one of the biggest challenges, or also one of the excuses, is time. Oh, I don't have time for it.
Yep.
What would you say to that?
It's a lot of shite. I used to say it all the time. You got to make time. If you had asked any billionaire on their deathbed if they would give up all their wealth to stay alive, they would say yes. But by then it's probably too late. So there's nothing more important than your health. Nothing in the world. If you're dead, what you did? Nah. What good's having all that money if you're in a wheelchair because you're ill because you never took care of yourself or not able mentally or physically to go enjoy your money? I make time. There's always time. Get your bed earlier and go to bed later. There's always time. Fucking hell. Check your screen time and I guarantee you people, you don't need to train for age. You can train for 20 minutes a day and be healthy. Train 3 times a week and be healthy. You could do breath work whilst you're driving. Sometimes I do breath work when I'm driving. Like, if you don't get time to go out and stand in grass, if you want to do some ground, again, it sounds quite happy when I say it and as against the grain, but you know, when you're taking your dog a walk, go barefoot, do something. There's always time, man. You can do stuff whilst doing other stuff. Sometimes I habit stack when I'm working and doing something at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm working, I'm lying on a PMF mat. It's not that I do something and don't do another thing. So I find ways of incorporating it all into my day-to-day life if I can. Sometimes I'll not get time to go to the hills and jump in a waterfall, so I'll run a cold bath and stick ice in it and do it, or go in a cold shower in the gym or whatever. So it's not about doing it all the time, it's about doing it as much as humanly possible. So I try and do it. We're all get busy lives, right? Everybody's busy. You know, I unemployed people that don't have time. Yeah. Even unemployed people have got shit to do, right? So I get 5 kids, businesses, it's, you know, you got to make the time because, again, what's more important than your health? Yeah. And health doesn't mean that you physically can run 5 miles or you can bench or you're muscly or you're fat. It's like an inside-out health. I think that's mentally and physically things work. Like, you just eat healthy, make good decisions, take care of yourself. You don't have to be a gym junkie to be healthy. You can go for a walk every day and be all right. Yeah. I'm just like that for other reasons. Yeah.
So how would you say your health and wellness journey has influenced your success, your decision making, your ability as a leader, and just everything that encompasses you as an entrepreneur? How has your health and wellness affected that?
I think I've written's a bit better. I mean, your energy levels just means I'll get more energy to do more stuff. We done a podcast before where I talk about I don't feel like I've accomplished stuff this year. I've done more work this year than I've done any other year put together.
Yeah.
And that's family. But I've learned more this year than I've learned any other year. I've done more between family and business. And I don't feel... funny, if you took it like development-wise, I've moved forward loads. But if I didn't have the energy to do all that stuff... I wouldn't, like, if I'm lethargic and tired, and I'm a little bit ill just now, but this is the first time I've took even a slight blocked nose the whole year. I don't get sick. This is my version of sick. I've got a blocked nose. And you laugh at me because I don't get sick. So when I get even a blocked nose, people think it's hysterical. I try my best to make sure I'm invincible. Right now I feel like my wee soldiers are under attack and defending. That's how I feel. But if I hadn't taken care of myself, I'd be in my bed sick just now.
Yeah, but
that's what consumed me.
Everyone else that has caught what you've got has been off work for a week.
Yeah, everybody. But that's even fit people I know have had to take 3 to 5 days off the work because whatever this is I've caught is flawed. And the funny thing is, not a person in our office noticed I was sick. I'm sick inside internally. I'm in pain and I can feel something trying to consume it. It's like a fight. It's like something trying to consume the sickness. But I think because all my wee soldiers, i.e. my health and wellness, are so well equipped. Like, you can't give your wee soldiers wooden spoons and expect them to go to war with a tank, right? So for me, being healthy is arming them, because sickness is going to happen. You are going to catch shit, but it's your body's ability to then deal with it.
Yeah.
So, and if I'd been off this week and lying in my bed, there's a lot of things that wouldn't have got done. That'd have cost me a lot of money. So I think, yeah. And again, you don't have to go to the gym to do this. You don't have to be a freak like I am. You don't have to go an extent. But if you make more good decisions than bad, then you'll have more energy than not. And you'll feel better more times than not. And the better you feel. I'm just a big believer in, if I feel good, I'll do good. If I feel shit, I'll do shit. So the better I feel, the better I'm capable of doing. And for a point of leading people, one boy says to me the other week, he's only 18, but he says, it's quite a weird comment. He says, you make me feel not like I think something along the lines of, you don't make me feel like a man. And I've thought it's something that says to piss him off. And I'm like, what do you mean? And here I am struggling to get my bed in the morning at 18, and here you are in your 40s getting up and doing 4-mile hill runs and getting a nice water in the morning before you come to work. He says, you make me feel weak sometimes. I'm not doing it on purpose, but that's good for a leadership point of view, because it gives him something to want to aspire to. And I think from my position that I'm in now, showing somebody in their 18 that as they get older they should get a wee bit better, they shouldn't deteriorate, because I remember being 18 and looking at 45-year-olds and they were terrible, and I remember thinking they're really old, I don't want to be like them, and all they done was complain. So I never wanted to be that old because of the examples of age I'd seen. But so for me, if you're a leader, I think you got to lead in that as well.
Yeah.
I'll still be doing it when I'm 65. I'll do it until the day my heart gives in or I'm dead.
Yeah.
So
what habits or practices, you could say, would you say have had the biggest impact on your energy and on your focus levels then?
Food. The stuff I consume or don't consume. That's it. There's loads of food I still want to consume, but it'll sap my energy levels. I don't crash. I used to crash in the afternoon a lot, between 3 and 5, always crashed. And I never realised up until this time it's because of the foods I was consuming in the morning that made me crash, because I got a spike in energy and it would come crashing down. So it's the level of energy. I don't just calculate energy as in a good feeling at some point. I'm talking about, like, if I'm awake, it's the same energy from morning to night. It's sustainable energy. It's the whole day. So I don't go up and down like a yo-yo. But if I eat foods, and we've done tests, like if I'm wired in energy and want to get tired, swearing, I nearly done it last night. I nearly went and ate some bread last night. I was wired at 1 o'clock this morning. I sat and watched Venom, the movie, the new one, myself. Everybody was in bed. I actually went to bed. I says to my wife, I'm not tired at all. Get up, go down the stairs. It's 1 in the morning. I'm usually sleeping by 12. And there was a part of me that wanted to go eat toast and cheese, because I know fine well if I eat toast and cheese, 20 minutes later I'm going to crash, because it's going to give me an insulin spike and then I'm going to come down like a ton of bricks. I've purposely ate sugar and toast and cheese to make myself tired sometimes, because I know it'll knock me out. I know it does. I get a wee spike and then you come back down again. So I'm quite I mean, that's been very seldom when I've had to sleep and can't get to sleep. Like I'm in a weird hotel. I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to just, again, not perfect. I'm just like, I'm going to have to eat something unhealthy in order to knock myself out. It's quite funny, actually, that.
So do you think you're more receptive to it now, though, because your body has been so clean for a while? Like, if any other,
sure.
like if someone was to have a bit of toast and cheese or whatever, they probably wouldn't feel it to the extent that you would feel it. Is that right?
They wouldn't, because you're immune to it. I ate some chocolate the other day. Again, I don't not eat bad stuff sometimes. I had some quality streets around the house. Again, the distraction of being with kids. I have one. I had a couple. And my sleep stats were terrible. I can see that. I can see when my heart rate and my breathing's heavier because my body's processing something it shouldn't. So I'm a wee bit more sensitive to it now, 100%. There's just stuff I can't put in my mouth anymore because I know what it's going to do.
The amount of times you've driven your kids to McDonald's and have left the drive-thru with a bottle of water.
McDonald's, but I've not ate one in years. I can't. I just can't eat a
Have you not gone to McDonald's because it was your suggestion and got to the drive-thru and just couldn't bring yourself to order anything because it got
myself,
a water?
Eating for leisure, right? You took a picture of me today because I went to get Greg's. But all I mean, Greg's is like a bakery that we have in Scotland
like
and the UK. If you don't watch it, bakery, it's not the cleanest. It's lovely though. If you're skint and you need to eat some stodgy food, it's good. Yeah. Greg's is lovely, and I don't even stop my kids eating it. But you were laughing, but I was going in looking for soup.
I took a video.
I know you did because you're like, you going to Greg's? I'm like, I'm not going to Greg's for a sandwich or for a pasty. I'm going on a donut. I'm going because I want some soup. But they never had any lentil soup. They only had tomato. And it's funny because I'm quite aware because tomato makes my stomach acidic.
I'm going to have that video for a lifetime.
Me going into Greg's. Look, he's lying. He doesn't eat healthy. Look, I'm not immune. I like chips. I like a burger. I ordered the burger yesterday in the Hog's Head and I took a bite with the bun on it. And it only took one bite for me to take the bun off and eat everything that was. So now I suppose I'm quite aware of stuff it's eating for fuel rather than eating for leisure. So a lot of the time I'll eat stuff because it's got good protein or carbs or whatever. And when I eat leisure, I'll still try and find something that's very nutritious. Like we all know I love a Wagyu burger, right? And I love cheese, but I'll buy organic cheese. And so I'll get the cleanest version of the things I get. Yeah. So if I eat bread, I eat sourdough bread, I eat rye bread. Because that doesn't give you the spike and it's not sugary and it's just made a wee bit different. So it's not like I'm a freak and don't eat anything. I don't eat any salad. I don't touch salad. I don't eat salad. I barely eat any greens. Barely. A lot of meat and carbs. So I think food's been just been the biggest difference because when I struggled to lose weight, I was 14.5 stone, which is about 95 kilo for anybody who does kilos. And I trained 6 days a week. And when I hired the health coach, who's an absolute G, he tracked my food for a week and he tracked my training for a week and he came back and says, you're training too much. So he got me to train half, which is a weird concept to me. And he didn't put me in any diet. He just says, change your cheese to organic, change your meat to organic, change your potatoes to organic, change your bread to sourdough and rye. And so I never changed my eating habits. I just changed the version of what I was eating and I dropped like the equivalent of maybe 10 kilos doing that. So I done half the time in the gym and just replaced things with other things. And then I replaced chocolate with dark chocolate. Absolutely annoyed at that. Just now I found out yesterday, Lindt are getting sued for heavy metals in their chocolate. Yeah. Anyway, so they're not eating Lindt chocolate anymore. So, but yeah,
allegedly. I feel like you need to say that on podcast.
Allegedly being sued. Yeah, allegedly. I seen a TikTok. It's not me saying.
Oh right, TikTok.
There was a guy legit saying that they'd found all these heavy metals. It was Harris that told me about it, and it says they'd found all these heavy metals, and it isn't as good for you as whatever, and that's fine. But so it's not like I don't eat chocolate. I just when I go to feel like chocolate, I eat dark chocolate, which is 70% plus cocoa, which is better for you. It's not like I don't eat sugar. Like obviously I'd do Quality Street, but 99.9% of the time I wouldn't do that. I'd have honey. I'd have fruit. So it's just not these wee tiny slight changes, but food's been the biggest difference. I train less than I used to, but I look way better than I ever had, and I have more energy. I'm stronger and faster than just as strong as I was when I was 23, but I just as fit cardiovascular as I was when I was 23, but I do less training, so that's quite weird. I quite surprised myself with my strength actually, because it's quite weird to do less. But even with my health coach, we focus a lot on doing workouts which are instead of exerting energy, it brings energy in. So I do a lot of thing called zone work, and zone work after workout actually. So there's exercises you could do that give you energy. So I do a lot of that, so that even after a workout, I feel like I could go again.
Yeah.
So your body's not under stress all the time.
How do you deal then with the pressure? Maybe that's a word, or people like. Everyone wants to catch you out all the time.
Everybody gets excited.
To the point where, like, if you've not been feeling 100% and you've still been in the office, you've still done everything that you had to do the last couple of days, but we won't tell anyone that we work with that you've not been feeling great, because they will jump on that, and people are just waiting for you to...
Just waiting for me to be unhealthy, or waiting for me to eat chocolate.
Yeah, because as soon
as McDonald's,
as soon as someone says, as soon as if you were to say, oh, that you've not been feeling 100%, they'll be like, well, there goes all that.
Yeah, we took it up for if we get sick.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think there is a lot of pressure. People are always trying to catch you out. So how do you deal with that?
I don't give a shit. Sorry. That's just me thinking and speaking very loud with no filter. But of course there's going to be pressure. Of course there's going to be... I'm trying to think about how I would say even deal with that. I'm on my own path and I don't care about anybody else's opinion. You know? I always joke that if I die before I'm 100, none of it will be worth it. Because people are like, is it worth it? And I'm like, ask me when I'm 100. I won't know until later. It's a risk that I do other stuff and still catch a disease or die or whatever. But I know I'm just giving myself the best chances, so I don't before I open my mouth and tell anybody that I'm going to be like, I've never said I'm not eating sugar, so I can confidently say I ate some quality streaks. I'm not. I don't think,
well, you did it for a year,
and I didn't touch it for a year.
Yeah.
So I suppose when I commit to something, you'll never catch me. You just won't.
Yeah, but the amount of people that would say, "Oh, what was it?" So when you weren't doing the processed sugar for a year, you could have like dark chocolate that was like 90% or something. So if someone saw you eating that, they would...
I caught you eating chocolate. And I'm like, no, you didn't teach me. No, that wasn't the rules. So when I commit to something, or I open my big gob about, which is mouth for anybody who's not Scottish, gob or Glaswegian. When I open my gob, I need to be willing to back it up. So you won't catch... It's funny when people are like, oh, you at the gym this morning? I'm like, where else would I be? It's like, I don't... It's like when people ask me if I'm alright now, I'm like, it's a waste of breath. Like, I'm always going to be alright, even if I'm not alright. Never going to get a different answer. Never not going to go to the gym. If I go to a holiday or on, people are like, oh, did you chill and no train? I'm like, no, I got up at 6 and went to the gym. Like, people try and catch me all the time. Like, oh, did you chill out? Did you put on weight? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, well, when you travel, the hotels you book purposely are because of what gyms they have and things like that.
It cost me a fortune in Manchester last week to make sure I had a good gym for one day, because the hotel was extortionate.
So do you think then that goes, something that we always talk about, and it always seems to come back to having a big enough reason as to why you're doing something? Do you think being able to handle that pressure, and also being able to handle, being around everyone else who's not necessarily doing what you're doing? You've got young kids who you'll take for McDonald's and will always have chocolate in the house or sweets. Or
terrible when I take them at McDonald's now.
At work, where there's sales reps who famously don't always have the best diets. Do you think that stuff is all easier to deal with because your reason why is big enough? Would you say that's...
Yeah, of course. My why is huge.
Yeah.
If I want to live to 130... If that's my goal, if I genuinely, I believe it to the point I think I'll die my 130th birthday. I just dropped dead. Maybe I should say 150. So
hedge your bets.
I think a big enough reason, and I'm also very vocal about reasons, and I'm very vocal about what I'm doing with people, because I learned a long time ago that my ego would come into it, and your ego wants to stop you if you're looking stupid. So I don't want to look stupid, so I never had my goals, and I don't hide. So when I said I was coming off processed sugar or stop drinking, I told everybody. I never told everybody to brag. I told everybody because I knew the more people I'd done, the less chance of me actually not having the discipline there would be, because I don't want to look like an idiot. Imagine somebody did catch me in McDonald's.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
They would have a field day.
Tarnish. We've got a friend that used to sneak chippies.
Catch him around the corner.
Catch me. But that's, it's fine, whatever, just own it. But yeah, there is a big enough reason, but I also put myself in a corner where I'd tell, and I've started telling everybody I'm off processed sugar again next year. And the reason why I'm telling everybody against no bragging rights, I'm telling everybody because then if everybody knows I'm not eating it, I can't eat it.
Yeah,
you can't catch me. You can follow me about with a video camera all you want. I think we've told this story before when I was off processed sugar and I was stiffing ice cream in Gran Canaria, and my wife got, I was stiffing pasties, desserts, ice cream. The kids kept getting stuff. I'm like, oh, let Dad smell it. I was smelling their food. I was so addicted. This had only been me 3 months off sugar. So January, February, March, April. Yeah, 3 months off it. So I stopped at Christmas Day was the last day I ate sugar. And when I went Easter time in Gran Canaria, and I was really struggling. It was harder to stop eating processed sugar than it was to come off booze.
Crazy.
Still harder to resist
chocolate. But then
chocolate.
they say sugar is as addictive as like cocaine.
Yeah, so they say. Sure, there's some arguments. But anyway.
Yeah, that's one of the most addictive substances.
Chocolate is good, man. So is McDonald's. So is KFC. I miss a KFC so bad. I miss a Zinger Tower Burger. But anyway, I loved that.
Once I haven't had that.
Couldn't do it now, but I just couldn't consume it because I just reject it. I'd probably feel sick because I just reject it now, even though I really want it. But anyway, but what we were saying, when I was with my wife, and it's funny because we were in Gran Canaria and she's like, can you just effing take a bite of the ice cream? No one will know. And I says to her, I'll know. I says, what kind of leader am I if I commit to doing something and then when nobody's watching I don't do it? And she says to me, there's something wrong with you. I'm like, you just don't understand leadership. Leadership to me is, you're not going to catch me out. If I'm preaching something, I better be living it. Because if you preach that to me and I caught you going across it, I'm going to call bullshit every time you open your mouth. You lose all trust I have in your ability to teach me anything. I don't care because I tell my health coach all the time, if I ever catch you at McDonald's, you're gone.
Yeah.
And he laughs and goes, as if you ever would. He's worse than me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I ever catch you eating at McDonald's, brother, we're finished. Because you can't tell me that that's bad for me and then you go do it. You're supposed to be my coach. So I take my leadership role very seriously. For my kids as well, right? If you're going to say it, own it and stick to it. And if you don't intend on sticking to it, shut up and don't say it in the first place.
Being that example to them.
Yeah.
So, if I might want to get comfy here, this could be a long answer. But
sit back, relax, and get the popcorn.
Talk us through like a typical day for you and all the practices and all the things that you do.
How specific do you want me to be?
Just everything that you've implemented to help you live a healthier life.
I get up 5:45, 10:06. Can't remember what time my alarm set for, one of those times. And I do that. I go up, have coffee. I put a heart rate monitor on my chest. I do a heart rate test and HRV test in the morning, and it's for readiness, and that tells you how my nervous system has recovered for the day before and tells me the level of readiness my body has for stress. Also tells me the level of stress I can put up with. Not that stops me training for. I knew I was sick the other day. It says that I usually get like a 7 to 10. So 7's like if I've been heavy the day before and my body's not quite healed yet. And I've been a few 10s, which is great even when I've trained, which means my body's recovering quite quick. And the other morning I got a 3. And I'm like, all right. And it says your body should do nothing but try and give yourself energy. I'm like, all right, I'll take advice. So I start the day checking that I'm ready to go. I do breath work, I get ready, I go to the gym. On the back of training, one day I go to the gym, one day I go for a run, which is outside as long as it's not icy. So I do functional fitness. Then the next day I'll go for a run. When I'm doing my runs, I do an ice bath after it. When I do the gym, I do like a 30 to 50 minute sauna after my workouts when I'm in the gym, all the time. After the sauna, I do some breath work to make sure I bring my cortisol levels and stress levels back down. I go home, I do the PEMF mat that you guys got me, and I lie in that for 20 minutes. So it helps you heal and do that. I do some red light therapy if I need it. I do some grounding if I feel sore and feel like I'm a wee bit stressed, and then I'll go to work, do what I do.
You also take some quite a few like supplements. And,
shit, we can get into supplements in a minute. Yeah, I take loads of supplements.
That's like what you do when you have your coffee, isn't it?
Coffee. Shilajit, I take a metabolism booster called MB1, which is by Array, which is in the States. I take testosterone boost tablets in the morning. I also take enzymes. What else do I take? Probiotics, magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin B12. I take creatine, I take protein, NMN, which I've not had for days, which is when this happened. It's coming today. NMN is for anti-aging, actually. So yeah, I take loads. I take quite a few pills all day, to be
Rattling
fair.
about the place.
Yeah, I took Shilajit 3 times yesterday just to make sure I felt good, which worked actually. And part of the reason I couldn't sleep last night is I was wired because I took it at night. I didn't think it would affect me like that, but did. So I thought I'd be immune to it. During the day, I've got a roller in my office. I have a roller, which we famously know. I'll go for a power nap more days than not, which is a 20-minute power nap, which are absolutely amazing for you and amazing for your healing. So if you're in the body, if you're ripping your muscles or whatever, doing your recovery. And then at night, I'll always try and do an hour winding down. So there'll be an hour where I don't do phone calls, I don't do anything stimulating. I call it my dumbing down hour. I'll do things to dumb myself down. I'll drink chamomile tea to ding me myself down. I'll take tablets before I go to bed, which is P3s, which is probiotics for my gut. I'll take magnesium, so I've got magnesium for at night. I'll do some grounding. I'll go to bed. I'll do breath work in bed to get rid of any excess cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and to make sure I get to sleep. I make sure the windows are open and the room's the right temperature.
You sleep on a grounding mat?
I sleep on a grounding mat and I have a special pillow to make sure I don't get sore when I sleep.
You don't have any Alexa? You've taken all of that out of your room?
I've no 4G in my room. There's the back room's like a 4G shrine. There's like all the kids' phones and iPads and all that stuff through a back room. So we don't sleep with any. I have an old alarm clock from Asda that goes wah, wah, wah. One of the wee black alarm clocks.
Vintage.
I have a vintage alarm clock in my room. So yeah, I do loads of stuff, and I'd do more of it if I had time to do it. If I had more time, I'd do sauna and cold every single day. I'd do yoga, I'd do stretching. So I'd do more. I always say that if I ever retire, I'll spend my day training.
And then everything
Train,
you eat.
heal, train.
Organic and high pH water.
Try my best to have the best water. You have a purifier in the house for water. Even though Scottish water's really good, we still have a purifier. I drink Highland Spring water because it's got the highest pH level and it's the best for you. And that comes in a plastic bottle. So yeah, I do stuff like that. Organic where I can. I won't eat fruit that's not organic because of the pesticides on it. I'm not going to get into that deep level stuff. But yeah, I won't let my kids eat non-organic. I buy non-organic. I buy organic food. I buy organic grass-fed meat where I can. I try and get the cleanest version. And when I eat fish, I don't eat farmed fish. I only eat wild caught fish. Which in itself is still not the healthiest because of heavy metals, but it's the best out of a bad bunch, to be fair.
So you do a few things.
I try my best to make the best. All that stuff is, I mean, not everybody can do that. It's bloody expensive. Spend an absolute freaking fortune trying to be healthy. It's expensive. Organic cheese is twice the price. Organic avocados are twice the price. Organic meat's twice the price. Like
4 times the price. Yesterday I sold 2 chicken breasts, organic and not. There was genuinely quadruple the price.
No, that's actually true because the chickens are £5 in Sainsbury's and an organic chicken's 20 quid. But it costs the farmers more to raise them because they have to feed them good food and they can't use the cheap crap, right? So it's nobody's fault, but being that it's in a good enough spot where I make enough money to be able to afford that. But sometimes I wish I wasn't. It's the cost of bloody. My wife went and done a shop once for her and the 3 kids because she's not into it. At that point, she's into it now. It's funny because Brody's into it now.
Yeah,
she wasn't into it. And she's like, I'm not spending that money in Sainsbury's for that food and what you go to Sainsbury's if you want your food and I'll go to Lidl for me and the kids. And she come back and I remember I said she got her and the kids for a week and I got me for a week. And I also eat less than the kids. I think then I was fasting a lot. And my wife's like, what she spend? Like £183. Would you spend? She's like 157. I'm like, you serious? You fed 4 for 150. So it's try to beat, and that's not even, you can go on that. There's another level of food, there's another level I could go, but it's just extortionate, time consuming, you're limited a lot. So I call it swallowing the red pill if you're a Matrix fan, right? Once you know, you know. So sometimes I pick things up because I really want it, or I'll pick something up and I'll read the ingredients and I'll put it back. I just can't.
So what would your 3 non-negotiables be then? From everything that you do, which as everyone has heard, there's quite a few. What would be your 3 if you were to start from scratch? What are the first 3 things you're implementing into your routine and what's non-negotiable?
Go to the gym, taking shilajit and eating organic meat.
That was a lot easier for you than I thought it would be.
Shilajit's the one supplement that I would that I if I had to give up on my supplements, I would take that.
So
promote my shilajit here.
Yeah, Beyond Human coming next year. So I think,
but it's only the first product we're going to sell because it's a product we know makes the biggest difference, makes the biggest impact on you.
Yeah,
I took it 3 times
incredible.
yesterday to feel good, so that's why. I take that before I take paracetamol.
True. So you are obviously you prioritize your health and your wellness. It's so far up the priority ladder for you. You invest in all these different things, as you said. You invest in a health coach that helps and educates you a lot. But what tools or resources would you recommend to people if they've not got access? What tools and resources?
It's YouTube, man. It's not. You've got access to all the information you need. That's that. You get access. There's no need a gym membership. That's why I call it God's gym. You know, when I get running, I call it God's gym.
Yeah.
When I'm working out, because it's just nature. Do you know what I mean? You don't need an ice bath in your back garden. Go in Scotland. Go anywhere where there's water either still or running and it'll be cold enough for you, right? The only thing you can't get is a sauna. So I think just do your own research. I pay a health coach because I can't be bothered doing research. It's either going to cost you time or cost you money. I don't want to give up my time. I'd rather give up my money. So I pay money so that someone else gives up their time to do the research. And so if I want to know something about whether something's good for me or not, I'll send him a message. And if he doesn't already know, he says, let me go do some research. That's what I'm paying him for his knowledge. If I don't have the money to pay for his knowledge, then I've got time. So I'm going to have to, I'll go put the time into read books, YouTube, read articles. You can do that. I just don't want to do that. So that's why I pay someone else to do it and just tell me what to do. I'm like, just tell me the end result.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's funny. He's got me taking all these supplements. Now I can tell you what the supplements do, but there was a long time where people were like, what'd you take that for? And I'm like,
no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My health coach told me to take it. So you don't know what it is? I'm like,
Nope.
Nope. He just told me to swallow these pills. So I swallow these pills, no question asked. And I laugh with him sometimes. I'm like, the level of trust I have with you is ridiculous, because I order these pills, I go, okay. And I order them and just start taking them without any thought whatsoever. So, yeah.
So looking forward to the future then, what do you see for yourself in terms of your wellness journey, and what do you see for the impact of that on your life as well, apart from living to 130, because we've made that quite clear?
Well, I'm 45, my metabolic age is 34, and before my 50th birthday, I want my metabolic age to be 30. I'd be 20 years younger inside, the goal. So I just see myself getting more obsessed and more healthier. I see myself being in my 60s a bit, yeah. So yeah, the more energy I get, the more I can do. And the more into my health and the better the feeling, the more I have to do to get the dopamine back. Because you become immune to the dopamine. So there's stuff now that used to give me dopamine that I don't get. It's gone. It's chasing the dragon, right? It's drugs. It's a drug. Dopamine's a drug. So I just see myself being more and doing more and to get more. That's that. I just want to be healthier every year than I was the year before, and I just want to be faster and stronger, not worse. When you get to your 40s, you're supposed to start deteriorating. I don't. I still have high testosterone levels. I still function at a very, again, I genuinely believe I got more energy now than I was when I was 23. Yeah. And that's nuts. That's 22 years later. So I want to just keep being like that. I want to be 60 laughing about how weak I was at 50. So that's it. I just think it's nuts that you get older and you get worse, so you should get better. So I'm going to keep, we'll say fighting the fight. I'm going to fight age and time. Because you naturally, they say you naturally age, but they're starting to figure out, again, if you go do your research, they're starting to figure out how to reverse aging. And so if they're figuring out an angle to do it, I want to do it. There's loads of stuff that when I have more money, I'll do, like an oxygen tank, and like just there's a red light bed that's 15 Gs, and I don't know if I can justify in my head spending. I'd spend that on a holiday, but I wouldn't spend that in a bed.
Yeah, you're talking about next year putting a gym in your house.
Just loads of things that I talked about getting my own bedroom that was designed for me to sleep better.
Yeah.
Because my wife hates that I have to be sleeping by a certain time, and I don't like the TV on sometimes because I need my head to dumb down, and I don't want to be. I don't want the TV on, and that's frustrating because Brody wants the TV on. And I was thinking about making my own wee sleep room where I can make it the perfect temperature for the best deep sleep and the sounds on. It's quite mental.
Sounds like a great time.
Sometimes I'll listen to certain music that dumbs your brain down on the way home, like different hertz, like different frequencies.
Yeah.
And I generally can see a difference in my sleep. Like I track it on my wee whip. And when I do things like that or don't do it, I can see it. So when I ground, I can actively see a difference when I wake up of how good my sleep was. So, yeah. And then even listening to some music, some deep sleep on the way home in the car at night for the office at 11 o'clock, I'll put on some frequencies and it's designed to switch your brain off. And yeah.
Incredible. Well, thank you. Hopefully everyone can I think it's important to say, if anyone is, especially coming into New Year, a lot of people go New Year and they want to try kind of make some changes. I think it's important to say you didn't do all of this all at once. These were introduced one by one. So
every year I just think about adding things in.
Yeah. So I think it's just find one thing when you come to and find what works for you. Everything you do is not going to be for everyone. Okay, yeah. So I think it's just finding your own thing. And you know what, you might be happy how you are, so you don't need to. This is just what works for you.
If you're happy and happy life playing out and don't want to live long, like I'm not saying that sounds patronising, but yeah, you do you. But if you make more good decisions than bad decisions, then you'll be better more times than not.
Yeah.
That's all I would say. Like, I'm not saying don't eat fast food, just don't eat it every night. Not against it. I let my kids eat it because it's their choice, and when they're I'm not going to put my beliefs on my children. It's up to the kids. And then when they're older,
they can decide.
They can make their own decisions. I'm not going to put that, because you see a lot of parents doing that where they put their belief systems in their kids. I'm not going to. I want my kids to figure it out for themselves. My kids know why I don't do it. But then if they're still choosing to do it, no problem. That's fine. I'm not going to force it, because if I stop them and take something away they want to do because I'm the parent, as soon as they're at the house, they'll do loads of it and make up for it, which is worse for them. So
perfect. Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
And we'll see you all next time.
Ciao.